Hello and welcome back. Tonight I want to play a song for you written by Vince Guaraldi. It's called Linus and Lucy. It's from the Peanuts movie. And of course, you know that Vince Guaraldi was one of the great jazz pianists from the West Coast. And he wrote the music for the Peanuts show and so on. And this is a very popular song. You may be wondering why I'm choosing to play this, because it's not associated with jazz music, so to speak, but it's more like pop. But Vince Guaraldi was a jazz pianist and also played with Cal Tjader for many years. But anyway, this is a good song to illustrate the independence between the left hand and the right hand and how to develop that, because this song is really challenging in that way. So I'm just going to play the melody of the song, the basic head part of the song, no solo. Then I'm going to talk about some of the things that are involved in getting this independence between the two hands. It's a very important issue. Okay, here we go now with Linus and Lucy. I want to talk about what I played, but I'm going to talk about this song and this arrangement in terms of how to create independence between the two hands, because this is a tricky rhythm and we have to coordinate both hands and we have to play off the beat. So this is important. So now if we look at it very simply, let's break it down and look at the left hand first. We're in the key of A flat major, 4 flats. So the left hand is just playing this. Root, 5th, octave. Then that repeats, root, 5th octave, or A flat, E flat, A flat. Then we go to root, 5th, 6th, or A flat, E flat, F, and then that repeats. So those are the notes in the bass. Now it's the rhythm that makes it a little complicated. So there are 8th notes and then some offbeat notes. So we have this 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We'll start with that rhythm first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Like that. So now what happens on the lower note now is that it gets anticipated and it goes like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So you want to feel that rhythm like this. So I'm accenting the offbeat. So you can see there's 2 offbeats there that are accented. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. Then the anticipation of 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Now if you don't have that, it sounds too square. It's too metric, it's too square. We have to have a combination of onbeats and offbeats for it to really have a swing feel or have a good feeling to it. So the feel of this is the important thing. Now in the right hand you have this simple melody that goes like this. So it's a deceivingly simple song that is really actually kind of complex and difficult to play. But anyway, you have this melody. That's simple enough, but now the way it's harmonized is like this. That's very specific to the sound of this song. If you don't use that, if you use something different like that, or if you use something different, it isn't the same. So you have a sixth to a perfect fifth to a major third are the intervals. That's actually a minor sixth, but it's the third of the chord, and the root goes to an E flat, which is root fifth, and then to an A flat, which is root third. So you have this. Now, if you play it very simply, it's like this: 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3, 4. The rhythm is simple enough like that, but now he makes it more complicated by having offbeats like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 1 and 2, 3, 4, like that. 3, 4, and. Chord changes. Okay, so we'll start with that. Now you can see they have on beats and off beats, and that's the important thing. Now, how do we coordinate that? Let's take that up next. Let's take a little closer look at what's going on here. We have this bass line that's counted like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So now we have the right hand moving like this: 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's different things going on in the right hand, the left hand, but they coordinate together. Particularly when we put everything on the beat now, we can hear it. It's like this, very slowly. That's the key to starting to learn this piece, is taking it very slowly, first with each hand separately, getting the fingering down so that there's no problem with that, and then begin to work out the rhythm and then put them together. So you first start with just getting the notes and the right fingering, and then you start to get the rhythm in each one. Counting it, you have to count 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the left hand, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. Now together, very slowly at first, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3. Most important thing, a lot of jazz pianists or popular style pianists forget about the counting issue, and it's drilled into classical pianists more than it is the jazz students. So you really have to count. To understand any rhythm, you have to count. And to get hands coordinated, you have to count each beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and whatever it may be. The counting is very important. We'll continue now and try to put this into the upbeat rhythm. Okay, so the left-hand figure now is this. That's on the beat now. The way it's actually played in this piece is off the beat, so it's... Now you can see that sounds better than the other way, right? It just sounds better to be off the beat like that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and those end beats, those off beats, make it really flow and have a better feel. You know, so that's what you want to try to feel now. This is not easy, but so the right hand now becomes this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2 and 3, 4, 1. See, there was anticipation. 3, 4, and. So you need to count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2. If you can't count it, then you'll never be able to play it. Unless you're just somebody, or many people, they just feel it. They don't have to. I have to intellectualize it on some level. I have to count it and then get it to the feeling level by practicing it. And I think most of us do. There are those naturally talented people that have just great rhythm and they have great ears and they can play without music, like at Earl Garner. And that's amazing, people that can do that. So I give them a lot of credit. But I have to analyze it, look at it, see it on the sheet, practice it, and then try to feel it rhythmically by practicing it over and over and over again in repetitions. It finally begins to get on a feeling level. Once you've accomplished everything else, it becomes more on the feeling level. So like now. I don't even have it yet. I mean, I'm just starting to get it. I have to get, it takes a while for me to do that and eventually begin to relax with it. And something happens, something changes over the repetitions in which it begins to sink in to your subconscious somehow. And all of a sudden you've learned it. That's the amazing thing about music and practice. If you just do it and you do it enough times, eventually something happens inside of you and you begin to understand it on some intuitive level. So this is the main point I'm trying to make with this. Okay, I want to wrap things up. I wanted to use this song to illustrate the concept that I talked about earlier about coordinating the two hands, particularly when you're playing off the beat like that. It's difficult, but it's important to learn, and there's a system to it that there's a way you can go about it. And this is the way I think it is, and you want to break everything down to its simplest form, simplest rhythm. Take everything very slowly, counting, always counting the rhythm. Learn the fingering, learn the notes, learn the fingering and the counting, and then put them together very slowly. You can use a metronome if it helps, and that's it. And that'll be a means to an end. You'll be able to carry that through to other songs that you play. So hopefully this has helped you, and I'd love to hear from you. Comments, questions, whatever. Please write to me, and I will answer all comments. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time around. Bye-bye.